worldly activity, spiritual striving and strength for it. BD0966 from June 16, 1939, taken from book number 18. People's obligations in this world require strenuous activity, and it will be in everyone's interest to devote themselves to this as exclusively as possible. And every distraction, which spiritual striving sometimes brings with it, is regarded as a hindrance to earthly activity and accordingly disliked by those who are outside the spiritual direction or those who see the first fulfillment of life in earthly activity. And now these people also demand from their fellow human beings complete absorption in earthly work, and they do not consider how unimportant and worthless the latter is if spiritual activity is not practiced at the same time, and thus the earthly task is not properly solved. Both together will always be a blessing, and the Lord will always give the person asking for it the necessary strength to do justice to his earthly activity if only he first thinks of the spiritual task and does justice to it, for the Lord has set the perfection of the soul as the actual condition for earthly existence. He only granted the human being the grace of embodiment for this purpose, and thus this should also be fulfilled first, and then every guarantee is given for the fulfillment of earthly activity. Admittedly, the soul which has found the right path will now unwillingly want to take the path of matter. Earthly work will seem useless to it, and a certain unwillingness will become noticeable in the one who eagerly pursues spiritual striving, but then only heartfelt, fully trusting prayer will be necessary, and this evil will soon be overcome. The soul will comply with the demands placed upon it and willingly fulfill its earthly task, yet giving its only love to the eternal deity, and with this in mind it will continue its earthly path from then on, yet to the benefit of all who are within the sphere of its activity of love. And times of complete submission to the will of God now follow. And this is of such unspeakable value, for the person who follows the path of such an earth-child with open eyes recognizes the Lord's gracious guidance. The spiritual work will have a far more beneficial effect, and the Lord also gives His blessing in an earthly relationship where the true earthly task is thought of first. Therefore, don't become of little faith if you believe your earthly activity is endangered. The Father in heaven guides everyone's destiny with a loving hand, and spiritual strength is available to everyone in abundance if only he desires to use this strength, and it is now also accessible to him without restriction. And he looks favorably upon his children who are only willing to serve him. He will bless them in this life as well as in the beyond and protect them from physical and spiritual decline. Amen.